Hi, have you ever been caught in the headlights? You wondering what I mean by this question? Well, let me explain by first telling you a little bit about myself and where I'm coming from on this. Well, first, I've been a leadership coach, a trainer, a facilitator, and an organizational consultant for the last 18 years. And many of you know me in that avatar. What many of you don't know, and of course, those who are my ride-up buddies would know, that I am also an adventure enthusiast, an avid rider, and someone who's traversed the length and breadth of the country on his bike. I've done a large part of the country with my bike-up buddies, where I've had the opportunity to ride with them and lead them to various locations. We've ridden to Ladakh, we've ridden to Spiti, we've ridden to Kanyakumari, we've done a whole lot of other rides, all of course starting from Pune and back. But the most iconic ride for me was when I rode solo. I rode solo from Pune to Bhutan and back. Of course, a short stretch in Bhutan was with a group of friends, but the rest of it was solo. And that was about 9,000 kilometers total, out of which about 7,500 to close to 8,000 was solo. And that particular trip taught me a lot. And that is where the term which I just used, being caught in the headlights, came from. So a lot of times while riding, and I was riding through various terrains, various places, I traveled to East Sikkim, I traveled through isolated ghat roads, mountains in the winters, I traveled through isolated village roads in the plains. I traveled the length and breadth, right? So I went from Pune going up via the northern circuit, Bhopal, Lucknow, close to Patna, Siliguri and in, and came out going into Sikkim and coming down into Bengal, coming out through Orissa, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and back. So it was a huge circuit. And there I realized a lot of times when I was riding, and especially when I was riding early in the morning, because I mostly avoided riding at night. But when I was riding early in the morning, let's say leaving my room at about 4:30 or 5 in the morning, it was often pitch dark. There was nothing that I could see on the roads. There were no traffic lights, there were no street lights, there were barely any villages, and it was pitch dark. So the first challenge is, of course, getting your light to focus on where you want to go. But the bigger challenge was, of course, one, potholes, certainly something which comes in the way. But the biggest challenge was actually the oncoming headlights. Right? When you're riding, when you're driving or riding, but especially riding, when you've got the oncoming headlights, a lot of people tend to get caught in the headlights. And what do I mean by that? If you focus on those headlights, if you focus on the lights which are coming at you, you tend to start veering towards it. And very soon, if you keep focusing, you will bang into those lights. Now, why am I talking about that today? Well, those lights are nothing but the challenges and difficulties which we all are facing today. Many of us are whether we are in a business, whether it's a small enterprise or a medium enterprise, whether I'm in a job, many of us are looking at what is happening at the economic situation with a sense of apprehension, with a sense of fear, and we're carrying on staring at that, saying, oh God, this is what's going to happen, something wrong may happen, something it's not, we are expecting the worst, many of us, right? We're expecting the worst. And when you keep looking at that challenge, when you keep looking at that difficulty, when you keep looking at it with fear and apprehension, what's going to happen is those challenges and those difficulties are going to come and hit you slap bang in your face. So how do you avoid it? Well, when riding, what do we do to avoid it? Well, the first thing is you focus away from the light. So you focus away from the challenge, you focus on where you want to go. That is key. The moment, even if there's a stone or a pothole in the road, you don't focus on the pothole, because if you focus on that pothole or the stone, you will bang into it. Instead, you focus on where you want to go. Right? So most important in today's environment, Don't focus on the negativity. Don't focus on what is going to happen or what you think might happen. Don't focus on the challenges and the obstacles. Instead, focus on where you want to go. Focus on where you want to take yourself or your organization or your team, whatever it might be. Second, when riding, and especially in the dark, you can't see too far ahead. And today's COVID environment is very similar. You can't see very far ahead. So what do we do while riding? We focus on just the next turn. We focus on taking that turn well, the way we are supposed to, and effectively. Well, that's what we need to do today as well. Look at everything one step at a time, one turn at a time, one obstacle at a time, one challenge at a time. While there might be many coming, you deal with one at a time and then you look on to the next. Of course, in this, what helps us? A brighter headlight, maybe multiple lights. And that is where your vision, your ability to foresee, your ability to see as far ahead as possible. So a lot of people are not trying to foresee. A lot of people are not trying to look at data. They're not looking at what's happening around them to actually foresee how they need to proceed. Not what's going to happen, but how they need to proceed. So you need the vision, you need the lights to look at your path ahead, right? And most importantly, if you focus or if you go into any ride, any move, especially in the dark or with obstacles, with fear and apprehension, believe me, you will not be able to overcome it. You will have a challenge, you will fall. Similarly today, my key learning is you ride with positivity, you ride with focus. So even now, this COVID environment, I plan to ride hard, and I plan to ride through this COVID challenge with positivity, with focus. These three learnings are key, which I have taken from my solo rides. The adventure, which one likes, well, that adventure is what we have now. COVID environment is like an adventure. Let's see how it rides. Let's see how we get through. So those of you who are interested in knowing more about my riding and where I ride, feel free to connect with me personally on my Facebook page. Those of you who want to know how we can use learnings of life and how we can apply them in being more effective, in being more productive and achieving goals, you can connect with me as well, personally or professionally. I hope this little story about me and my learnings and my rides has given you a little insight. Let me repeat. Focus on the path ahead. Don't focus on the headlights coming at you or the challenges coming at you. Focus on your vision, your goal, your outcomes with as bright a light, as much foresight as you can. And third, do all this with positivity, with a sense of looking at opportunities and not with fear and apprehension. Just remember, if you focus on the challenges, you will go into them. If you focus on what you need to do, how you need to do, and you focus on that positively, you will ride the storm, you will ride this COVID crisis. So all the best, and thank you for watching.